Hi guys, this is Radio Visca here, Magnus with Radio Visca, and I'm just doing a reply to a channel called Forgotten Roots. And he just did a video. I think his name is Jasnyo. He just did a video on his thoughts on law and domestication. And I wanted to say, yeah, I definitely agree with him. Law as it stands today certainly aids in the domestication of humans, of Westerners, of people in the developed world. But I just wanted to add to it that it's not the law per se, it's what I would call over-regulation, for one. So creating lots of tiny laws about everything you do, basically taking away common sense, human decision making out of everyday things that you do. Let's say, for example, you want to sell your car. Well, there's an easy way to do it. The common sense way to do it is you put an ad on the internet, and someone calls you, and you give them the car, and they give you money. End of story. But this simple trade that doesn't really require, crazy laws has been totally regulated like crazy all over the West. And this depends on the country. I'm pretty sure that, and also the year, I mean, this is getting worse. I'm pretty sure that 20 years ago, there were probably less regulations about this than there are now. But it's come to a point where I believe in some countries you're not even allowed to advertise the car. Like it's literally against the law to advertise the car for sale unless you've gone and gotten a government permit for it. So, what does this mean? What does this do to people? It basically creates this constant sense of insecurity about whether one is breaking the law or not. There's this well-known sort of statement that everyone breaks the law at least 3 times a day. If everyone's a criminal 3 times a day with the amount of law we have currently. And so, law enforcement has also become completely arbitrary. It's basically selective enforcement because everyone's a criminal. I mean, as far as I understand it, much of what people do on YouTube and with music uploads could technically be prosecuted, pretty severely for copyright infringement and all sorts of things like that. So, but they only single certain people out, people that they want to, go after. And this is very interesting, for example, in the case of Barrett Brown, who was a journalist in the United States who got essentially targeted for sharing a link online. I mean, there was other things, but that was basically what the government was complaining about. So yes, this does cause domestication, but maybe just to add to what Forgotten Roots said, in the sort of way that people become more fearful and more careful and more obedient because they don't know what the rules are and anything could get you in trouble. And on top of the law, there's also the political correctness, which is a sort of unwritten law, which is a sort of policing of behavior that isn't actually necessarily even written into the law books, which isn't criminal, but which still domesticates people. So on top of the law, there's also the other side. There's this political correctness that I believe is much stronger even than the law. I mean, when you look at how people look at the law, gosh, people will speed. They know you have to drive 100, but they'll do 120, and as long as they think that there's no speed cameras around, they'll always try to kind of overstep the law. People smoke weed, people drive drunk, and I mean, there's constant rebellion against the law. But I think with political correctness and the horizontal enforcement in society, this is a lot harder. And obviously, Forgotten Roots is in some ways rebelling against prevailing wisdom with what he's saying on YouTube, his channel, as basically I am as well. But and many others on YouTube, it's sort of become fashionable almost to rebel against political correctness. But that's only, I think, because it's become so suffocating recently. If you look at 3-4 years ago, it was much less of a phenomena for people to rebel, and you had this overwhelming domestication through horizontal enforcement. You can't step out of line, or you will be shunned, you will be called racist, etc., etc. So those were my thoughts on Forgotten Roots video. If you like them, come watch my other videos, subscribe to my channel. Thanks.